What happens when the child you raise turns you away like a burden? A raw, emotional story of a mother's quiet strength and a son's forgotten love. Clapperboard, The Day My Son Sent Me Away. A cinematic short that will break your heart and open your eyes. He told me I was going to the facility like he was sending back a package that did not fit his life anymore. The sunlight fell through the blinds in golden stripes across the kitchen, and the room smelled of old coffee and lemon cleaner. The air hung heavy, like the moment before a storm. Martha sat at the table, hands wrapped around a cold cup of coffee. She did not drink it. She only held it for something to cling to, something warm against her skin. Across the room, Daniel stood near the window. His posture was stiff, his arms crossed as if bracing for a fight that would never come. His reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. The boy she had nursed and rocked to sleep had grown into a man she barely recognized. His shoulders were broad, his jaw strong, but there was a hardness in his eyes, a coldness she had never seen before. "You are going to the facility whether you want to or not," he said again, his voice calm and measured, like he was reading words from a script. He did not shout. He did not raise his hand. He spoke in the quiet tone of someone who believed their decision was final. Martha did not respond. She did not move. She did not cry. She had already cried 100 times in the nights he did not call, the days he spoke to her like she was an inconvenience. She had prayed for him every night since the day he was born. She had stayed awake by his bed when he was sick, whispering prayers until his fever broke. She had worked 2 jobs so he could have shoes for football, so he could go to college, so he could have a life. She had sacrificed every bit of herself to build for him, and now he was sending her away. He said his wife was tired. He said the kids did not want to visit. He said it would be better for everyone if she went. He said she would be safer there. He said it all without raising his voice, without any anger. Just the quiet logic of someone removing a puzzle piece that no longer fit. Martha looked at him. She looked at the man who had once clung to her legs in the morning, asking her not to leave. She looked at the boy who had slept in her arms during storms, who had cried when she had gone to work. She looked at the son she had raised with every ounce of love she had, and she saw a stranger. Time seemed to slow. The clock ticked loudly between them, like a heartbeat she could feel in her chest. The sunlight traced the lines of his face, and she remembered the tiny hands that had once reached for hers, the way he had leaned into her shoulder when he was scared. She remembered every late night, every scraped knee, every whispered secret she had kept in the dark, and she felt the weight of all of it pressing down on her chest. He cleared his throat. "They will take good care of you, Mom," he said softly, as if speaking gently could erase the truth of what he was doing. She smiled faintly, a small sad smile. "You have made sure of that," she whispered under her breath. The silence between them was unbearable. He pretended to check his phone, pretending not to notice the sound of his own heartbeat, pretending not to feel the gravity of the moment, as if ignoring it could make it go away. Martha rose slowly, every movement deliberate. She traced the room with her eyes, the faded curtains, the coffee cup still sitting on the table, the wooden floor worn smooth from years of footsteps. She wanted to remember it all, every smell, every shadow, every detail, because she would not come back here again. She thought about the years she had given him, the years she had stayed awake, the meals she had cooked, the time she had forgiven when forgiveness had been the last thing she wanted to give. She thought about the nights she had cried alone after he had left for school, after he had left for college, after he had started a life that did not include her. She thought about how love could be patient and strong and still ignored. At the door she paused. She looked at him once more. "Danny," she said softly, "a mother never stops taking care of her child. Even now, I will pray for you every night, because someday when you are old, you will remember this moment. And I hope you forgive yourself faster than I ever could." She did not wait for him to respond. She stepped outside into the golden light of evening. The air smelled of grass and the faint scent of spring flowers. The sun was falling behind her, painting her shadow long across the yard, as if the world itself refused to let her fade. She walked slowly down the path, letting her feet feel the ground, letting herself feel the weight of leaving, letting herself feel the relief of leaving, letting herself feel the sorrow of leaving. Inside the house, Daniel stood frozen by the window. His arms fell to his sides. His throat felt tight. His eyes burned with something he did not recognize at first. Maybe it was guilt, maybe it was love too late, maybe it was the realization that he had lost something he could never get back. The room felt emptier than it had ever been. The sunlight no longer felt warm. The coffee cup still sat on the table as if waiting for her to return, as if nothing had changed. But everything had changed. Martha walked slowly down the street, past the neighbors' houses, past the trees that were just beginning to bloom, past the mailbox that once held letters from him and from her friends. She walked past everything she had known and familiar, and every step felt like both a loss and a small victory. She remembered the morning she had kissed him awake for school, the night she had listened to him practice piano, the days she had driven him to soccer practice, the weekends she had spent waiting in the car while he went on dates with friends she barely knew. She remembered all of it, and she remembered that all of it had been hers, and no one could take that away from her. Her heart ached with love and sorrow, with pride and regret, with memory and reality all tangled together in a knot she could not undo. Daniel watched from the window. He did not move. He did not call her back. He did not run after her. He simply stood there and watched her shadow stretch across the yard and disappear into the evening light. The sky turned a deep orange and pink. The air grew cooler, and the lights in the house flickered on. Daniel felt the empty space beside him. He felt the quiet echo of what had been. He felt the weight of his choice pressing down on his chest in a way that no words could relieve. Martha walked to the edge of town. She walked past the park where he had learned to ride his bike, past the library where they had read books together, past the river where she had taught him to skip stones. She walked and she walked, letting the memories wash over her, letting herself feel everything she had held inside for years. Her heart ached, but it was steady. She was tired, but she was strong. She was alone, but she was not defeated. She was leaving, but she was carrying every part of herself with her. Every memory, every lesson, every ounce of love she had given. She did not know what awaited her at the facility. She did not know if she would find comfort or loneliness. She did not know if anyone would care as much as she had cared. She only knew that she had survived, and that she would continue to survive no matter what. Daniel stood by the window long after she had gone. He thought about her words. He thought about her prayers. He thought about the shadow she had left on the ground and in his heart. He thought about how easy it had been to forget the years of sacrifice and love, and how impossible it was to undo it now. He wanted to call her. He wanted to run after her. He wanted to tell her he was sorry, but the words would not come. They were stuck in his throat like regret, like failure, like a bridge he had burned too soon. The night settled over the town. The lights in the windows glowed softly. Martha was somewhere walking along the road, carrying herself with grace and sorrow. Daniel remained by the window, carrying a different weight. The weight of knowing he had hurt the one person who had loved him the most. The weight of knowing he had been the stranger in his own home. The weight of knowing that love once ignored is never fully regained. And in that quiet space between day and night, both of them existed in the same world, separated by choice, by circumstance, by time. He outside moving forward, she inside left behind in his memory. She carrying herself with dignity and sorrow. He carrying himself with guilt and too late understanding. The house felt empty and still. The clock ticked into the night. Martha walked into the unknown, carrying herself and her memories. Daniel stood in the light and shadows, carrying himself and the knowledge that love once ignored is never fully regained. And in the end they were both there. Both lost. Both human. Both flawed. Both shaped by the love that had once defined them, and the choices that would define them forever. Sometimes the ones we love the most become strangers, and sometimes letting go is the only way to survive. But the love we carry, it never truly leaves us. Thank you for watching this emotional story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories that move you, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Your support means the world and helps us keep telling these stories.